Hello guys, it's Johnny from Company Games. I'm back with another video so you can save time and you don't have to go through all of these features and etc. You can just look at me and follow along, and you'll get to know how to use Affinity. We'll continue our series over here because Affinity went free is the first contender for Adobe Photoshop. This is the next thing most of the people using in their professional game art pipeline or design or things like that. Okay, so and it's went free, so that's why we are checking it and see like how it fits and can it replace Illustrator or things like that. Okay, so what we're going to look at that we didn't really cover yet, the pixel persona mainly, and the other tools that are not covered yet, mostly related to game art workflow. Okay, like creating sprites, icons, backgrounds, things like that. Alright, so we're gonna have look at from top to bottom all the tools over here. Alright, and anything that I missed I will try to cover those things too. Okay, and Affinity actually like locked their from AI features under behind a paywall, which is about like $19 or something like that. Okay, upgrade over here. If you click upgrade, it brings up a screen and tells you to pay $19 per month. It's like a subscription based. Okay, so we're not gonna do that, and which I will be covering a free alternative. In Krita you can use all the most of the features over here. Let's see what are the features they have. It's something called generative field, and this and this and this super resolution, then this. Yeah, most of them will be covered by a free tool, which you don't have to worry. Actually, you know what, we can just get rid of this. We can just get rid of bye Canva AI. Alright, that's it. Okay, and if you don't remember, you can customize everything. It's very nice features to make your own workspace. It's really cool. Okay, and when it comes to batch task, I find my personal tools that I made by myself, which I covered in previous videos, which the link will be in descriptions. Okay, so you can watch that, but it's basically you go to sleep, you do batch folder of your images, run the task, and you come back and it's ready, background remove, etc etc. Alright, so it's very convenient. Alright, so in the now why you can ask why pixel persona matters, right? If you're a vector artist like me and you use 3D or AI to do most of your artwork, raster tools are still quite useful. Okay, because you want to shade icons, recolor sprites, clean the edges, like add some grains, noise, textures and whatnot, you know, softness, like creating glows, etc etc, like creating like vector outlines with soft shading, you know. So nothing really replaces all these things for raster tools. Okay, you still need that raster tools, give that final polish. All right, and Affinity's strength is the vector and pixel hybrid workflow, similar to the old Flash. Okay, Macromedia Flash. We can almost get that workflow over here, and clean vector online, instant raster shading, all inside one app. Alright, so now we will cover most of the things in the pixel. Okay, let's look at this tool. Okay, this is move tool, so you can select and move. Okay, you can like go scale your object. Alright, now if we see, you can rotate. Okay, now you can transform, those are called transform. Alright, so that's what you can do over here, and it's quite essential for like moving things around. And over here, if you keep long, you'll see a perspective tool. Okay, so you can change the perspective. I find this is quite useful for using my seamless textures background. Okay, to like get a floor kind of feeling, you know. So that's quite handy. And this is let's look what it can do. Yeah, this is really useful when making tile sets. It's gonna be really handy for us when creating those vector shapes, which is quite good. I don't know why this is in pixel persona. It should be more useful for vector editing, but it's here. Alright, so we're gonna just Control Z, undo that. Okay, now this tool, I don't know what it does. Okay, I didn't find any use of it, so we're just gonna skip it. Okay, now this is like cropping. You just do this and enter, and it crops the thing. Okay, maybe it's useful, but and it has different kind of none, then thirds grid, then peer grid. And if you're worried about that golden ratio, you know, for making those designs and etc., but for us it's not that useful, so we're not gonna really look at much. Okay, so let us try to look over here, and we're going to, it's still loading. You're gonna want to select an object. Let's see if we can select this over here. Okay, it's not very good like Photoshop or something like that. Let's see if we can select something. Okay, let's try to, yeah, the video is gonna be a little bit longer because from my usual video, because we are exploring. So it did select that. Okay, so you can select it. Okay, let's see, it did select it, but it's not so good as Photoshop or maybe Krita 2 perhaps. Okay, we're just gonna deselect it. Alright, so it works. Now let us see selection brush tool. Okay, it's like Photoshop. Okay, now let us see flood select tool. Okay, it's like that magic selection. Okay, let us undo that. Alright, so now this is the select, and you can like then move, I think. Yeah, you can move that. Let's see over here, you can move that. Yeah, it creates that. So not very useful for us, but maybe useful for other people. Okay, so that's there to it. And other selection tools, just your usual selection tools. This is freehand, and okay, you can select that. Those as freehand tool is very useful. Okay, so now let us try to create we're gonna switch to vector. This is more like a vector tool, and let's see if we can create another layer. Okay, create pixel layer. Okay, and we're gonna use this flood tool to, okay, so this is like a flood tool. We just fills up with the color. We can change that, maybe we can change that. Okay, so this is like a color tool. Let us control undo that. Okay, now this is gradient fill tool. What it does is, okay, it makes a gradient. Okay, so you can change the gradient. You can pick here and change the color to this. And what happened again? Okay, click this, click this. Okay, and you can add more. And yeah, I realized it's actually nice. I didn't know that you have to come over here. Okay, in my last video when I was doing some vector artwork and explored the vector persona, I thought it's quite difficult. Actually this is much better. Okay, so when you create the gradient, you have to like click over here and change the color. Okay, but let's see over here, let's try to just create some random colors. Yeah, so that's the way to how to use this tool more efficiently. All right, so let us undo that. Okay, let us actually delete of this layer. All right, so that's quite nice. And this is like a brush tool. You can just paint, you know, this is like common. There's nothing new to it. And what else we have, don't really know. I don't think that's much useful. They have a pixel art tool. You can go and zoom in. You can actually make pixel art over here. You see pixel art one by one, but I'm not really interested in making pixel art. If you are, you can feel free to draw it. And this is just plain eraser. Okay, you can erase. Okay, this is destructive, so when you want to use it, so this is what, this is adjustment brush tool. What does it do? Okay, it does adjustment. Okay, which is quite nice. And this is like burning, or that burn effect, dodge effect. Okay, sponge brush. Yeah, okay, so I'm not really familiar with it. I don't know where we're gonna use this for game art. Okay, this is like making blur. yeah, filter brush tool, okay, live filter, and this is what, this is blur, okay, you add blurring, okay, so that's what you do over here. Then this is what, this is sharpen. So if you do this, it's gonna sharp, you know, make things more sharp, like, okay. And this is median, I don't know what does it do. This is smudging, I'm not sure, so don't really use that in my workflows. Cloning, so it may be really good, you know, you need me to click alt click, okay, not really useful for my workflow. So in painting, okay, so let's see what we can do. What does it do? Okay, it gets rid of it. It doesn't, not so bad, it can get rid of it. And let us see if what this thing does. Okay, so you need to like click and halt, it's like patching, okay. So patch tool, so not really sure what does it do. What is this? Okay, this is kind of useful. Yeah, this is quite handy. I think I'm gonna use that one. Okay, so one more tool left. This is the red eye removal tool. This is useful for like removing red eye in your pictures and things like that, okay. So with all the tool covers, let's take a little bit of look at those filters over here. They have blur, average, and all those things, the usual, the distort. Just have to select over here to get those activated. Now you can do all those things, okay. And colors and all those things, liquify, okay, so you can do those stuff. We're not gonna do that, we're gonna cancel. Okay, so let us see over here. You can also do tone mapping, like filters, then you can do tone mapping over here. And tone mapping is just applying different kind of things that you find in like photo editor, you know, any photo editor. And there's some plugins that you can also install, perhaps don't know yet. In retouching, they have this macro, okay. I did not find macro over here. Like macro is like actions from Photoshop or Illustrator. The vector doesn't also have macros. It would be nice to have macros for those, like automate stuff. That would be really nice. And let us see one thing over here. You see, you can, if you drag it over, it lose. By default is disable, okay. To enable it, you need to come over here and view, disable that. Then you can move things around and have your reference board without opening another application, okay. Because we're gonna be using this feature all the time, because we draw from references, right? You don't draw from imagination. Imagination is derived from, like, after you see stuff. Nothing come from nothing, something come from something, okay. If zero, if you see zero, you just don't make zero from it. You get my point. You have to see to imagine, right? So if you have to see some visuals to get your seeing, so highly recommend always have your references, okay. Okay, now let us try to trace this with vector. All right, image trace, pretty good. Yeah, it does the job pretty good. Apply. Okay, you can ungroup it, okay. And to get a vector view, you need to switch this mode, and this is pixel view, okay. So what do I mean by that? If you zoom, you will see this is all pixelated. If you select this one, then it fixes the view, okay. Now let us try to copy this again and try to rasterize. See, now this is rasterized, okay. Yeah, this is rasterized now. You can choose over here, and yeah, so that's another thing over here. And as I mentioned before, we're not gonna use the paid features of Affinity. Now we are exploring the Krita Diffusion AI plugin for Krita. To make this thing work, you need to have Krita installed and plugin installed, okay. And comfy install on your computer. I will after looking at what the creator of this plugin is doing, we're gonna explore that. Okay, so he's creating really nice backgrounds with the help of AI over here, and he's changing on the fly, selecting the regions and creating, adding and removing content, which is really nice. This is what you do actually with the paid feature in Canva AI, which is like $19 Canadian and $15 USD. So with this thing you don't need to do all those pay. You can just come on to Krita and take your image and start doing things with it. Alright, now we are looking at the inpainting features that this plugin has provided. As you see, it's just changing with the control net scribble thing over here, and you get a live inpaint thing over here. Okay, now it's creating some artwork with it. This is really cool, and it completes kind of what you want with it. Now we are just looking at the rest of the features of this Krita AI plugin, and it has a lot of other nice features. Okay, so that's it for this AI plugin over here. And now after this we're gonna take a look at ourselves what we can do with it. Since we're talking about AI, I have some really nice tools for bathroom being backgrounds and fixing images. I'll leave some links so you can use them, and I showcased them in my previous video, so you can use them. Okay. Alright, so we have seen from the creator of the tool plugin himself that what you can do with it is very amazing. You don't need to pay, as we realized. So to get the plugin you have to come to this website and follow the instructions. Okay, you just have to follow the instructions over here, like scroll scripts. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, tool scripts and import for a plugin where we're downloaded the zip file. You gonna grab that one. Let's control and zoom that. Okay, just follow the instructions over here and you'll be all good to go. Just to give you an overview over here, what you can do is you have some connections over here, few options. Local is something that you gonna install somewhere on your computer. If you have a cloud-based, I have already a cloud-based which is connected. Install over here and it's all working. Okay, you can just run this command over here and it's so fast, and you will get a new image, so you can test it's working. And then what you're going to do, you can also do the online services. To get online services you have to come over here and sign up. Okay, I don't use that feature. I use everything locally. Alright, so that's how it is. And over here there's some styles, models and whatnot. It's the dream shaper kind of thing. Okay, and this is diffusion, selection row, the interface. It supports quite a bit of languages. Okay, the performance over here, you can assign how much performance that you want, and plugin you can check for updates regularly. Alright, so that's over there, and let us go back to there. We're gonna type something, forest. We're gonna generate it. Depending on your computer, it's maybe fast or not. It depends on your computer. I got a pretty decent computer, so alright, so you see that we get a forest over here looking pretty good, right? And I'm using this digital artwork thing over here. Alright, you can use flux and whatnot. If you go over here you can check that what are the things that you have over here. When you can, these are the things that you can install. Okay, for those you need to download those models. So it's very modular, it depends on your models, and you can also add more LoRa. Okay, and you can create a new style from the duplicate and edit it. For example, you can create this. Now you have a need to duplicate that. Okay, I'm just going to delete that one, and it's gonna say the checkpoint used by this style is not installed. You can go to CVAI whatnot and download that. Okay, this is Excel and that is over here. So this is pretty cool. Okay, now let us try to do some live painting. Okay, we're gonna delete that. Alright, let us try to do switch over here, go live painting. Let us try to draw a tree. Okay, tree trunk. Okay, we're gonna try to draw a tree trunk over here. Let us play. You can also add another text over here. Okay, now if we go to green and try to reduce the brush size. Okay, let us do like this, and then increase the brush size and just color over here. You see on the left it's doing it's quite good. So this for demonstration purposes only, to look at it how it's doing. And there are some other features over here. You can upscale your images. There is some graph over here. Okay, you can custom workflow, it will load. Basically you need to go to Config and do things, animation over here, then live, which we were doing, then upscale and generate. Okay, so this is really cool. Okay, you can do almost everything that you expect from a AI stuff that you want to do. So we can conclude we don't really need to pay for the Canva AI features. This thing over here with Krita, everything completes it. Alright, so that's it guys, that's for the video. Sorry about this, was a little bit longer video than our usual, and we got to see that it's really cool and everything. Okay, and this is generates really nice backgrounds and whatnot. Okay, and if this video was helpful information for you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.